Welcome everyone. Today I have a Dota autochess guide for 6 Shamans. And yes, this is one of the strongest latest RNG build in Dota autochess, and you'll be transforming into super strong units with random items, and you can deal a lot of damage with 3-star units that is available. So what I want to do is, I want to teach you guys step by step how to play a Shaman build, together with tricks and also tips to play the Shaman build when you don't have the right legendary pool of units, and even fishing for your pandas, which can help you to play the Shamans. So right away, when do you want to play Shaman? This is quite important. You really do want to see at least one Shaman legendary in the legendary pool of the 5 legendaries that's available. You can't tell the other 5, but at least one Shaman will be good. Other than that, you're looking for 2 Shamans with Arc Warden and also with Disruptor. I mean, 2 Shamans is the very safe way to play Shamans, because you know you can roll into both of the crucial legendary Shamans in the mid to late game. On top of that, if you can find Warlock, which is great for Orcs. Well, no, why Orcs? Because Shamans tend to have 4 Orcs or even 6 Orcs, and this gives you tons of HP for transformation, survivability, and also mid-game transition. Other than that, you're also looking for the you're looking for the relic box of the magic box. There's a hidden trick which you can find legendaries that's not in the game using the magic box by rerolling on legendary units, which I'll teach you guys as well on the later parts. So after determining I want to play Shaman, my entire strategy is to economize into level 9 and then start rolling for Shamans. Sounds very easy, right? But it can be very difficult. So you can see I'm currently playing a high rook game, so this is not an easy game, and I've tried this build a few times, mixed results. Sometimes I don't get lucky, sometimes even if I get lucky, I don't random into a great unit and then loses because of that. So how do you economize? I have made videos talk about this as well. I tend to go for the losing streak. In the first few rounds, what I'm doing is I'm basically just finding units that can potentially win me the fight. But if I can't win, then I'll quickly go into a losing streak after round 4. It's quite important to build an economy if you want to play Shamans. You want to be the richest player because you'll be spending a lot of gold rolling for those legendaries to make your crucial build. Now, I'll be fast forwarding to round 3, and the tier 2 item I'm looking for is gonna be the mana boots. Now the mana boots, I did not find it. Not finding the mana boots is not great, and I also want to find... Excuse me, so let me get some water. What I want to find is, I want to find item that can be activated. So one thing I want to share with about Shamans is, you really need to itemize. You want to find item that can be quickly activated, because Shamans will transform after they have casted a spell or activated their items. And items like Mana Boots, Blink Dagger are the best for Shamans in the early game, simply because they activate instantly, and then this allows you Shamans to quickly transform into better units. But as you can see, as I'm rolling for items, I actually did not find any of the items I mentioned. A little unfortunate, but they can still work. So after finding those items, I decided to give to the slug, and you can see I start to lose. Obviously my units are not the best, so I decided to go with a losing streak, and then I quickly sell my units, and we start to economizing. Now there isn't that much to see over here. I basically have sold my units to make it to 19 gold, because every round after I lose, I make it to 20 gold because of the extra gold for losing. So every round I'm trying to get to 19, 29, 39. I even sold all the units on the board to economize. So Shaman build is very expensive. It is a little risky, but it's very rewarding if you get them in the mid to late game. So I'll fast forward a little bit, not much to see. I couldn't make it to 39 gold. I only have 38 gold, so I just bought a bunch of random units. I'm always trying to get to my first 40 gold and then start to level up, because that will be the best way to go. Now, we'll quickly fast forward to round 9, because at the moment, all the units I've taken other than the Shadow Shaman, they're not very useful. I've even put down some Bounty Hunters, and the reason I put down Bounty Hunters is that they can help me get a sneak bit of economy. Let me show you guys over here. So, the Bounty Hunter, even for the 1-star Bounty Hunter, on his first kill, if he kills a unit, he can give you 1 extra gold. That's right, a 2-star Bounty Hunter will give you 3 extra gold. And 3-star gives you 5 extra gold, but that's only for hunters and also the other rolling goblins. So I got 1 extra gold just by having the Bounty Hunter and having him killing the enemy. But other than that, we just try to bypass the rounds, get to round 10, and then use the relics we find to build for back at the economy. Now, I mentioned about finding the magic box and rerolling the legendaries, but I don't recommend getting the magic box relic on the first round 10. It's preferable on round 20, because at this moment you can't really find legendaries, and the magic box doesn't help you to boost your economy, which is actually a burden. So, after defeating the golems, your first priority of finding the relics are gonna be relics that gives you economy, relics that give you gold, relics that give you experience, like the Malefic structure. Malefic? And this particular relic. Yes, this particular relic is essential for me to exchange my health into more experience. I want to get to level 9 as quickly as I can, and after round 10, once I have gold that's over 40 gold, I start to pick Orcs. Orcs are something works very well once you have less HP with the 6 Orcs. But even before that, having 4 Orcs is very easy for our build. You can find Disruptor, you can find, you can find Chen, you can find Warlock, you can also find any of the other Orcs like Juggernaut, any of the Orcs that's available. Now, keep in mind, if you don't have Warlock or if you don't have Disruptor, you can still go with 4 Orcs. I don't recommend 6 Orcs unless you have Warlock and also Disruptor. The rest of the Orcs will come with Chen, maybe with Axe, and of course you want Bloodseeker because he's also a Shaman. So it's very easy to get 4 Orcs, especially with Wizards. Wizards means you need 1 less unit. Now, for the rest of the round, I'm literally losing. As I lose, I will be getting more experience, and this levels me up quickly. I'm always rerolling tier 1 items, try to get Blink Dagger. I want as many Blink Dagger as I can. Notice I slowly rolled into 2 Blink Dagger. Because once you have Blink Dagger and the Shamans activated, they will blink, instantly using the items and then transform into a better unit. And it's essential for your Shamans to not delay their transformation. You want to transform as quickly as you can. Now over here I have a small tip. If you're having Orcs and you also have Panda, what you can try is you can try to put down as many Orcs as you can on the board and then try to fish for Disruptor. I did forget to buy the axe over here, but later I added axe, so I'm still losing very quickly. And you can of course have priest. Priest is essential when you're running a losing streak. I could not find my second priest. Nothing too special here. You can see I'm losing HP like no tomorrow, and I put down my next axe. I'm only putting down Orc units so the Panda have an increasing chance of giving me the Orc units I don't have. It's about 12% chance of getting Orc units. I'm also looking to ban legendaries. I want to ban certain legendaries that will help me increase my chance of finding Disruptor and also Arc Warden in the later stage of the game. I'll show you guys what to do when you don't have those 2 legendaries. You can fish for those in other ways. So over here, I'm still fishing and we're not finding it. Of course, you want Ascendancy for your level 15 talent because you're looking for legendaries. The higher chance of legendaries, the better it is. So of course we go with Ascendancy. Now, around this time, you kind of want to be level 7, even level 8 for round 15. Just position how I like to position, the weaker range units at the back, the stronger units at the front. And I even ban the dragons to help me with increasing rates of finding other legendaries. Once you position correctly against the wolves, even 1-star units can defeat them. Of course, you want like purple units, etc. Now, as we keep going, you're going to see that I start to leave units on the board because I can't afford to lose HP too much, even though I get experience for that. But once you go below 30%, it is very risky. So I try to find as many strong units as I can after round 15 to stop losing health. I have economized so much. I'm very rich, but I don't have much health. So I need to start to protect my health. And during this time, even if I lose, I'll still gain experience. And a lot of items I found are not very useful simply because they're not instant activation items. And I start to reroll those items into Blink Daggers or any items that can help me later. So we rolled again. Midas, not great, but it can be used later. So I'm still losing, and now I'm 27% HP. The hardest part of playing a Shaman build is because you're playing extremely greedy, it's very hard to get to where you want to be. So here I do want to show you guys. This is actually quite interesting. I have been fishing for Orc units non-stop for the past few rounds. And guess what? Luckily, a Disruptor dropped from the sky. Now, this might not happen to everyone because sometimes you fish into a human, sometimes you fish into a troll. But having Orc units and also pandas can be a way of fishing for the final Orc unit you wanted. This can be Disruptor, this can be your Chen, this can be Warlock. And finding the Disruptor give me more Orcs, which is essential to stabilize in the mid to early to mid game. Because around this time, having 4 Orcs, even though units are only 2 stars, it will help. And yes, guys, even if you don't get lucky with fishing, notice I'm almost level 9, and this is before round 20. I'll be level 9 much quicker than anybody else, and the legendary units I found will give me 5 gold of refund, and I can economize even further. I'm just gonna give some random items, and you can see I would like to say we don't lose as badly, but guess what? We lost massively to this player. So yes, you really want to stop losing after you got to around 30% HP. So I'm down to 12% HP. The saving grace is that with my relic, I'm almost level 9. And I've banned my units as well, and I start to buy legendaries. The legendaries that's not found, once you're the first player to find them, you can quickly get 5 gold for purchasing them. So whenever you see a legendary, make sure you purchase them. Now, the next few rounds is going to be essential because I have been ultra greedy. At the moment, I will be rolling for my Arc Warden while trying to get my 6 Orcs online. Once 6 Orcs online, and because I have so much lower HP, the 6 Orcs will give me close to 1000 bonus HP. Yes, one of the things that help us is that I have been losing, which surprisingly is very good with 6 Orcs. Who would have thought, right? And yes, notice I'm, constantly buying units, constantly adjusting my team. I don't need the priest anymore, so I sold the shadow demon. So you really have to know your build a little bit, or even how you can transition around this time. And I start to give blink daggers to my shamans, because having 3 shamans, they are already pretty strong. Notice I have a 3-star troll, 2-star monkey king, and things start to stabilize. This is what you want to see. You don't really want to lose too much HP with a shaman build, but if you economize correctly, you're much ahead of other players. I found the Chen, I quickly removed the Beastmaster, I believe. Yeah, I took down the Beastmaster, and the idea is I'm always upgrading my Orcs into stronger Orcs. And of course, giving Blink Dagger to the Shaman units is essential. One of the reasons I'm using Dark Widow is she will disable 2 enemies at the start of the fight. I need a few seconds for my team to transform, so whatever can disable enemy is great. And don't get greedy with your gold. You really want to stop losing? I'm literally purchasing all the purple units and also legendaries to find more chance of Earthshaker and also chances of the legendaries I wanted. Let's have a look at the fights now. The Shaman's Blink. Right after the Shaman's Blink, they transform. They take a few seconds to transform. So you really want units in the front line that can soak up some damage before your Shaman dies. And during this time, this is why it's great to have Orcs. 4 Orcs or 6 Orcs will give you much higher HP pool to transform. And then the Shamans, even at 3 Shamans, which is the first synergy, is enough. I'm also building my economy, and notice I'm level 9. I have a choice of going to level 10 or staying at level 9. But most of my units are only 1 star, so this is a hard choice. I want to gauge to see how strong I am compared to other players, and I can't afford to lose anymore. And what I decided to do is let's wait after round 20 and then we decide. Most likely I'll go to level 10 before I start rolling, because this gives me the best chance of finding Arc Warden with higher rates. My build is roll ready, by the way. We only transition on with 6 Orcs. My goal is to go into 6 Orcs and also 6 Shamans. Around this time, I'm really looking for the magic box item, but if I can get the leafy essence, that's great as well. Other than that, I'll just take the stolen vault and then economize into more gold. So you always want to plan where you're going and also how you want to play your build a little ahead of time. So I'm planning what are the relics I wanted. Let's have a look. I didn't find anything great, but we found Leafy Essence. Leafy Essence is great because after round 25, you can lifesteal, you also reduce the damage you're taking. This also gives me a bit of discount, so I'm playing for the much later game. Around this time, I can reroll some of the items. I have not been lucky with those items, and I have been considering what items I should keep, whatever I should throw away. The acoustic head is definitely not useful, so I'm looking for some tier 2 item that can give me instant casting abilities to do things, and finding the Master of Madness is also terrible. So itemization, not so great for this game. but synergy is very good with 6 Orcs. So even though here you see my units are dying in the backline, my frontline units have transformed, and they are 3-star Warlock or 2-star Warlock, and 3-star units that is super buffed up with the Orcs. And you can see I have stabilized ever since I went further, and purchasing legendaries gives me 5 gold because they're the discovered legendaries. So this build is heavily built on economy, and if you can get your economy going, it's very rewarding. Now, notice I went to level 10, then started rolling. And, I found more gold because of the legendaries, and now I'm just looking for Arc Warden. Now, fast forward a little bit, you can see that even without the 6 Shamans, our build works. The Disruptor blinked into the enemies, and then he transformed into a 3-star Shadowfin. And then Shadowfin casted his ulti and killed most of the enemies, which is amazing. So, most of the time, our Shamans, even with 3 Shamans, is enough to stabilize if you have the Orcs units. Now, if you don't have the Orcs, you could go with 4 gods, but it's a little harder to find in most cases. And I just want to show you guys, eventually, so notice I'm always rolling to my last bit of gold, but I have units on the bench or on the field that I have planned to sell if I find the units I wanted. So for this case, I'm rolling, and I found Arc Warden. If I don't have the gold for the Arc Warden, I'll sell the units on the bench like the other legendary on the bench or the other units on the field. And I have planned what to do once I find my units. I quickly sell the Troll Warlord, quickly sell the Lastrak, and now we have the setup that I wanted to get into. So this is gonna be the 6 Orcs and also 6 Shamans. Now, giving Arc Warden Master of Madness did not work. I wanted to try this to see if he can cast his things after the Master of Madness. It didn't work. So he stopped transforming if he's got Master of Madness, which is okay. You can see the power of the Shamans even in the very early stage of the fight. Here the Chen was doomed, but most of the units are very powerful because their items are transformed into stronger items together with their characters or units are transformed. And whatever dies, Chen will revive them at the back, transforming into even stronger units. So this is by far one of the strongest late game build in the game. Most of the time, the difficulty is not, the difficulty is getting there, but once you get there, once you know a little bit what to do, you will be unstoppable. Now, just happens to the, what's his name? The magician here over here. He is also a wizard. So because he's a wizard, I can afford to take back Rubik and sell Rubik for additional gold, and I'm still rolling for my other pieces of units. One of the reasons I'm doing this is I have not much gold. I don't have much health. I don't really want to sit on 12% health. I want to be surviving. Here you can see me constantly adjusting the team just to survive. And now my Shamans, once they blink in, they transforms, the fight is pretty much stabilized. I won't say I'll win all the fights, but rather we're pretty strong. And sitting on 12% HP means my units are getting like tons of HP from the 6 Orcs synergy. So we start to make a really good comeback. And around this time, I even sold the axe to go for the units. And just happens I have pairs of everything. Nothing too special. And over here, before the neutral round, I take out the neutral items and then I'm ready to craft them into something stronger. Now, one thing I want to notice is that there are 2 items that is activational, but they're not allowing the Shamans to transform. One of them is the bottle, the second one is the monitor horn. Those 2 items are great on units that want to cast their spells, then transform. One of the best ways to disable enemies in the late game is through silence. So giving Disruptor Monitor Horn is essential for this build to be super strong in the late game. This will disable most of the teams and this will give you time to transform. So if I can find Monitor Horn, that's great. And finally, I find my Warlock. So putting Warlock down, taking back the Juggernaut means we keep the synergies, but upgrading into stronger units. So back to this itemization, notice each of the Shaman units are getting 1 item that helps them to instantly use their items, whether it's Blink Dagger, whether it's Monitor Horn, or whether it's a bottle. A bottle is not instant actually. Whether it's like the Mana Boots or any item that activates instantly, you want to be using those items. Now, giving most of your tier 1 items onto the 6 Shamans now means that they can transform into strong items. Notice his High Hunter, he's got Maelstrom, he's got the Guardian Graves, and he's on Rampage. So yes, now that I have stabilized, the next goal is to find all the purple units, all the legendaries to 2-star. And luckily, I defeated the strongest players in the game right now. And I got 15 or 16 gold as a compensation for defeating his race win streak. And that means more gold for me to fuse, right? So getting 2 stars is essential. Because once you find 2-star legendaries, they will transform into 3-star legendaries. And that makes the game very easy. Finding the other 2 stars are not going to be massive. So let's have a look. Nothing too special now, and yes, I did find the bottle, but the bottle is not an instant cast, it just helps you to get some mana. Late game, bottle isn't a game changer, but Monitor Horn is. Notice that half of the enemy's team are silenced, and by the time he silences me, my units have stabilized, transformed, and it's pretty much over, right? And players have started to lose to you massively. Now, if you don't have Leafy Essence, I'll recommend going with Lifesteal instead of reducing damage taken for the talents, because you're actually doing a lot of damage. During this time, nothing too special, we're just economizing, finding all the 2-star legendaries as I mentioned earlier, because you have to be level 35 to go to level 11. And yes guys, I do plan to go for level 11. I can go for another Disruptor, I can go for another Arc Warden, or I can go for something special to counter whatever synergies that is against me in the ultra late game. So we're very flexible. We can go with 2 gods, but it's not that strong. I've tried it. 4 gods is very good. So usually if I'm not going for 6 Orcs around this time, I'll try to go with 4 gods and then maybe going with 4 torrents, or maybe go with, anything that synergizes into 4 with the wizards. Let's have a look at fights with the assassins. Pretty straightforward, Disruptor cast, Disruptor transforms into 3-star Oni Knight, and then the fight's over. There's also a 3-star Snapfire, I think there's a 3-star Templar Assassin. Yes, this is the satisfying part. So, this is much earlier than most builds. Most people are not even level 8 or level 9. We are level 10, fully stabilized, we have got the right items, we banned the units, and we're about a few rounds ahead of most other players because how much economy I have gotten. At the end of the video on this one, I'll show you guys how much economy we've gotten compared to the other players. So gold wins wars. Who would have thought, right? I'll fast forward a little bit. There isn't nothing too stressful. You can see that against this 3-star unit lineup, we have no problems because they're instantly silenced and we take them down quite easily. Now, one thing I am noticing is that a player has defeated me on the aggressive battles. You can see that there's a sword over there, means that I'm actually fighting these players and he have defeated me. That is something concerning. I want to see what synergy he has that defeated me and how I can counter this. I can see he's going for mages, humans, and also dragons. Very greedy. Going for 6 humans is very greedy because humans don't do much other than give you more experience. So seeing that I've lost to mages, I start to buy stealth assassins. There's no better way of saying this. 5 dragon mages are very strong, and I'll make a guide for you guys on this very soon. But in order to counter the 5 dragon mages that cast instantly, the only thing you can do is use stealth assassin. Any build can use stealth assassin, and most players don't know about this, is that stealth assassin against mages, instantly casting mages, the first few seconds is essential. This gives me time for my disruptor to hit a 50-50 to silence his half of the board, and that can win fights or reduce losses. I'll show you guys very soon. The disruptor cloud is very big, but if he positioned correctly, I can only catch half of his team, but that's enough. If Disruptor and Stealth Assassin hit the right clouds, then the fight's over. Even if they hit the wrong cloud, well, my units are still pretty strong, right? I'm also picking up more Disruptors, more Arc Warden, and here I'll be crafting some items. Nothing too special. I think I crafted into a pipe, but the pipe wasn't really used because the Arc Warden would have blinked, then transformed, then he doesn't use the pipe. It's a little wasteful, but it will go into a tier 5 item once it transforms, so not a big deal. Let's have a look at fights. So here, I think it's going with a similar build, but it's definitely going with all legendaries. And look at this 3-star Gyro. And he does have some summons, but it is definitely not enough to overwhelm my units. Just have a look at how much health my units has. With 3 Orcs, this 3-star remaster is sitting on 5300 HP. This is the reason the hidden synergy with 6 Orcs, and especially when I'm on such low life, it's very scary. And we took down more players with top 4. Now, my focus is how do I beat the mage. Right now, I don't have a great solution. I'm looking for 2-star Stealth Assassin, 1-star Disruptor, or 2-star Disruptor to silence his units. Notice the positioning he has. Very important in the late game to come first, because I'm winning. I don't want to lose due to RNG. I want to determine how to beat him. You can see his major source of damage is Zeus and also with Keeper of the Light. Everything else is just here for the synergy, for the 6 humans, 6 mages. Again, very greedy. I don't recommend going for this greedy in this stage of the game. So, in order to beat him, I need my Disruptor to silence the Zeus or Disruptor to silence this side. And then I might want one more Disruptor to silence the other side, or having Stealth Assassin to cloud the other side. Which we'll have a look very soon what happens. Now, my team is pretty synergized, and even though my units don't look too strong, they have like bonus 1000 to 2000 HP with the Orcs, which is very powerful. Let's have a look who we're gonna fight. Here we go be fighting, not the mage, we'll be fighting all 3-star mini mages, the low rank mages. But look at this cloud. Once the cloud is casted, his entire team is silenced. And here my 3-star Tide is running into the battle and the fight's over. And 3-star Tide have like 6.4 HP, 6.4k HP. And he literally stunned the whole board. So, up to the last 2 player. And I have been planning to beat the mage. In order to beat the mage, I don't plan to roll into any 3-stars, because 3-star shamans are not good. They waste your gold, and they also don't transform into anything amazing. So I want to go to level 11, even level 12 with my shamans, so I'm just biding my time. I want to see how I can fare against him, and what is the best counter to him once we get to level 11. Let's fast forward a little bit. You can see, I silence one side of the team, the other side of the team does some good damage to me, then he tried to silence me as well. And then over here, we can see the Zeus is alive. So Zeus is a problem. The Zeus does a lot of damage. And if I can't deal with the Zeus, this happens. He almost one-shotted half of my team. The good thing is, I'm always randoming into 3-star legendary units like Templar Assassin, Wrath King, Queen of Pain. Those things are very good against the mage. Oh, I found a 2-star Stealth Assassin. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'll fast forward 34, nothing too special, where he just barely survives and barely defeats him. So once we get to level 35, you can unlock your final synergy. Of course, with Leafy Essence, we got both of the synergies. I don't really need IO that much, but rather I want to be level 11. So, defeating the dragon, finding items, and then we go to level 11. Now, one thing I do want to show you guys what I got from the dragon is the purple tier 4 item. Over here with the purple tier 4 item, now, Dagon is great. Dagon with Arc Warden means double Dagon. But one thing is, Necronomicon with Arc Warden means multiple summons. Because I think one thing most of us actually didn't know about Necronomicon is that it increases the number of units you summon by 1. Not only it summons Necro units, it also increases the units of the summoner by 1. So if you put this on the Lone Druid, on the Beastmaster, on Arc Warden, this can be great. So you get 1 extra summon. And also, his clones will do the same, which is pretty good combination. I also start to put items on different units, and making sure most of my shamans have an instant cast ability, or just give items to units to let them randomize into better items with the 6 shamans. Let's have a look at my Arc Warden in action. So, my Arc Warden, usually hiding in the corner, it's a habit to not die. So let's have a look on this side. My Arc Warden summons one more Arc Warden, and then I'm talking the shamans. Actually, and the Arc Warden will summon a bunch of Necronomicon, and they will start to use a lot more Necronomicons, which is great. One thing to notice, so this is why I want to see. I want to see the positioning of my Stealth Assassin and which side am I covering. If I cover this side, which is I don't want, I want to cover this side where the Zeus is. So Stealth Assassin didn't cover the right side this time. It covered half of his board. Next time, I want the Stealth Assassin to be reversed to cover the other board. So I'm going to mirror shift the Stealth Assassin. It's important to know your positioning and how you're countering an enemy. His units are very fragile. If they can't get the fast casting, because his whole build is about 5 dragons, right? If you can silence him, and then fights is much easier. So I defeated him with the wrong positioning of the Stealth Assassin, but this time my first priority is to look into leveling. I can't level up at the moment. I'll be putting the Stealth Assassin on the other side. I want to see if he changed or not. Now, the good thing about Stealth Assassin is people actually don't know where you placed him. So he doesn't know I moved my Stealth Assassin. And that means next fight, I'll be silencing his troops. I'm also picking up Naga units. I can potentially go into 4 Nagas if I start to lose a lot. So I can swap out of the Ringmaster into Naga Siren. And then we go with Medusa, Tidehunter for the 4 Nagas. And that's my last result. Let's have a look at the second fight. Look at his Zeus and look at his Tide. The Stealth Assassin is correctly positioned that they get silenced right away. Very essential. Now the downside is the Disruptor didn't follow up correctly. Disruptor went to silence the other side, but my units were strong enough in a few seconds to take down majority of his team. So the first few seconds of the fight in the late game determine who wins and who loses. And units like Stealth Assassin, items like Hacks or Silence will help you win the fights. Of course, if I can't find Stealth Assassin, I can put down one more Disruptor for a chance of silencing the right side. Fast forward a little bit, nothing too special, and now that we stabilized, the fight is very easy. Because his units are not strong enough, we're constantly winning now. So, before the final set, and you can see that I actually went to level 12. Because I have one more Disruptor, that means even more silencing, right? So put down the Disruptor, get in my units, and let's have a look at the fight over here. So 2 Disruptors, Stealth Assassin, and he spread his Tidehunter and also Zeus, but that's not enough. So Zeus is silenced, the Tide is silenced, the fight is over. We both said GG and we know the fight is over. And you can see it's like 3-star, Queen of Pain. A lot of fun units that comes into play. Now, usually I stop the guide video here, but I don't feel like I've done the guide justice if I don't teach you guys how to play the Shamans without this particular lineup. So what do I mean by that? Let's have a look at the lineup. The start of the match, we have 2 Shamans and also 1 Warlock. And those are important pieces that makes the build work. So what I want to do is I want to go back to some of my previous replays. Yes, I do have a lot of replays I want to show you guys, and some are really good ones. So firstly, I want to show you how to use a magic box. The magic box, so this is another replay, and you can see during that time I was Rook 8 and playing with other players. So let's have a look over here. The magic box. I have been magic boxing my legendary units, and one thing I want to show you guys is, notice here I'm just 1 Shaman away, and I magic box into Disruptor. And Disruptor was not even in the game. So you can magic box into Shaman units or any legendaries that's not even in the game. This is a hidden trick to play the Shamans, because sometimes you just can't find your Shamans. What you do is that you can magic box them and also fight them this way. So for this particular fight, I was able to magic box and random into the legendaries I wanted. And notice that previously I'm constantly magic boxing the legendaries. I'll show you guys a little backwards. So here I am overdrawing my economy, constantly looking for units, and whatever legendaries I've purchased, I keep them and I magic box them further until they become Shamans. It is a bit RNG. Notice I bought the Queen of Pain and I magic box her and wait for the next round. And during this time, notice I didn't go for 4 or 6 Orcs because there was no Warlock. And then I went for 4 Torrents, which are still great if you can get 4 Torrents or 4 Gods with the legendary units you find later game. Now I mentioned about this other method of playing Shaman. So here's another replay. Yes, multiple testings on Shamans. And you can see here I've been looking for Pandas. Once I find Panda, I also want to get the lucky fish onto my Panda. So what that means is I'm trying to fish for Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit is a Shaman that is not available in the game unless you randomly find him in the rolling pool, but it's very rare. One of the best ways of finding Earth Spirit is actually to give lucky fish, or even without lucky fish, and to get lucky with fishing Earth Spirit. So I think it took me many rounds to try for this, And I'll just fast forward a little bit. Oh yeah, eventually I fished into an Earth Spirit. So just to show you guys, once you have the Earth Spirit, you want to give him the lucky fish, and then he can fish for more Earth Spirit. Very essential to do this, because I'll show you guys, in a much later stage in the game, I fished into multiple Earth Spirit, and this is how you can play 6 Shamans with Earth Spirit. And this also means even though you don't have all the legendaries in the pool, so notice that this time there's the Disruptor, there's the Arc Warden, but if you don't have enough Shamans, you can fish for the Earth Spirit and then play Shamans. But keep in mind, this is not a guarantee. Very low chance of doing this. Only in early game, if I find Earth Spirit, would I play Shamans, because it's kind of like the order of the game, right? So yes, there's multiple ways of doing this, and what I do is, on this part, I'll share multiple replays with you guys about Shamans. I'll have the timestamps for game 1, game 2, game 3 using different methods like fishing for Earth Spirit, fishing for legendaries with Magic Box, or fishing for other units, and different method of playing the Shamans, so you have a better understanding. So use the timestamp below to play the Shamans. It is very powerful. The only downside is sometimes you do the right things, you don't get the units, then you start to lose very quickly. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video.
price of all their heads.
Siren rises from the deeps.
What's this thing? Some kind of cat? When you play with Lena, you tend to get burned. Ooh, thanks.
Step through the forest like it's not even there.
changes nothing.
Its commander trusts into you.
Who summoned the demon witch?
One of my arms is worth 1,000 of theirs.
Wolf.
Dex, are you ready for shenanigans?
Axe or fists, it changes nothing.
For the flayed twins, I seek blood.
Time to shove.
Juggernaut stand.
My faithful join me. Hand of God. My faithful join me. Time to shove off.
changes
The
nothing.
sun is here.
From my shadow guide, I bear a message of death for my enemies.
Riding high!
Mereska has arrived.
And the self is Zet.
Out of sight.
The Stormcrafter comes.
starting.
Spirit Breaker.
My spirit returns to flesh.
In the service of Salamene.
Nightcrawler. Bleep bloop. I am a robot. Yeah, just kidding.
Spirit Breaker. No grave for you.
I run like a clock. Dr. Blinker.
Eyes up and shields front.
Nightcrawler. My suit should keep. There's a price on all their heads.
Ice is nice.
No grave for you. Fists. It changes nothing. Bring the spark of death.
Time the brains.
The Honorable Dante Panna at your service. The Honorable Dante Panna at your service.
Mother of all evil.
My faithful join me.
There are none who cannot be mimicked.
Time to save the world.
Spirit, return.
Again.
My faithful join me.
I bring an end to magic.
No Slytherin may fail.
Spirit Breaker.
My spirit.
Spirit Breaker. You summon the witch.
Dr. Clinker.
By the impure powers of nature.
Enchanted, I'm sure.
The Stormcrafter comes!
From my shadow.
Mixed blessing. The elements of my nature are in torment.
I bring an end to
For the flayed twins, I seek blood.
Well, blow me down!
By the impure powers of nature. For the flayed twins, I seek blood.
My spirit.
A new chapter
and shields front!
With bones and spells I come. I may be faceless, but I'm not maceless.
One way follows another. Sweat to victory.
Dr. Clinker.
My spirit returns to flesh.
With bones and spells I come.
Master of beasts. Tuskar.
Blade twins. I seek blood.
Eyes up and shields front.
Armor and will.
Mega kill. Spirit breaker.
Time for target practice.
Behold my beauty. There are none who cannot be mimicked.
This one's on me. No grave for you.
There are none who cannot be mimicked.
is my spirit.
Mereska has arrived.
Monster kill!
My faithful join me.
Rise. The terrestrial sphere imbues my spirit. Elder Titan.
Ready for shenanigans?
Axe or fists.
My faithful join me.
No one can stop us!
Elder Titan. In green, I go.
Orcs' blessing.
My faithful join me.
Axe or fists, it changes nothing.
Mereska has arrived.
Sack.
Axe grows.
My blood runs strong.
A new chapter.
From my shadow guide, I bear a message of death for my enemies.
Thanks.
There are none who cannot be mimicked.
By the impure powers of
My
nature.
faithful join me.
The time has come for me.
The Stormcrafter comes! Thanks.
There are none who cannot be mimicked.
Thanks.